You mentioned earlier that you see young people all the way up through their teens. This is something I don't know as well. I don't have kids yet, and I'm not around teens very often. But it does seem that they have issues communicating with each other. Do you see that more? And maybe it's, I don't know if their heads are in their phone all of the time, or how is this manifesting itself with teens?
They don't communicate at all. When they come into my office, they don't look at me, they don't make eye contact. Until recently, they were all wearing masks and mumbling, they weren't enunciating. Their heads are permanently tilted forward to look down at their lap where they're holding their phones. They communicate with what I would call Egyptian hieroglyphics, facial expressions, emojis, uh,
Oh,
fruits, vegetables, uh, fire, rain. I mean, this really looks like something you'd see in a cave. We've reduced our vocabulary to what can be supplied by Apple, and that includes pictures of men with babies in their wombs. So when you control language and you simplify language from whatever it is, 40,000 different words in the basic English vocabulary down to 400 photos, all of which are written by people and designed by people to push political messages,
mm,
then you are literally controlling the minds of the person, of the reader, of the person on the phone. And young people, they don't have any experience with even writing. Most of them don't even know how to use a pencil or a pen to write anything except block characters. They cannot actually handwrite. They're not taught this anymore. All they do is they don't even type. They just use their thumbs to insert pictures into their phones and things like CULTR for see you later. They have shorthand now. It's incredibly bastardized. So the vocabulary is so limited. They're not able to think because words is how we think. We don't think in emojis. We think in words. And when we take our words away, our thoughts are taken away. I can't really overestimate or over speak about this, how debilitating this is for the basic tools of communication. And so you take that away, you remove the tools, and then you add in all of the isolation, you add in all of the devices that distance ourselves physically from others, you remove the presence physically of being able to touch and see and hear other people, the physical contact, because that's all been banned. It's all too dangerous. And now what you've got is just a whole bunch of isolated minds that have all been diluted out with very little information and words to express themselves, all being push fed information and being prompted to respond to queries that come from bots and other algorithms on their phones. You know, most of these kids, they're not even communicating with each other. They're communicating with photographs of girls and boys and people trying to sell things to them. You know, women selling
mm.
lotions by dancing around and then telling them to click on the link to go to their website and buy something and they get money from it. This is not social interaction. This is really mind control. And I see it in all of the children, all of the teenagers that I have. The teenagers now are not going out and they're not meeting with friends. They're not dating. They're not really playing sports that much. They're not organizing themselves in coffee shops and talking. When they do get together, they pull their phones out and they start chatting with other people or other computers somewhere else. So there's
Hmm.
no sense of physical presence. This is something I've never seen before. I've never heard of this before, and it's all just blown up in the last 5 to 10 years. It started with the iPhone in 2007, iPhone 1, and it's just gotten exponentially worse ever since then. In the last 2 years, it's probably doubled in terms of its severity.